Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Moe studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. We'd love for you to join us. Just search for @Tom and Dan Live.
Our BDM only appreciation party is April 19th.
Yes.
And you have to be a BDM to be invited.
You can sign up at tomandan.com/registration.
We have a lot of great sponsors that help us put together the $5 t-shirt
We do.
promotion, which we're mailing out next week, and the actual party, which we have a live band, we have a whip and magic show, a
Yeah.
DJ.
Whip and magic.
And one of the sponsors is here today, Moe Dewitt from justcallmo.com.
Hey!
What's going on?
Thank you, Mo.
Hold on, my thing.
Thank you, guys.
My blast
Now-
isn't working. Hold on.
Show's falling apart.
God.
I was,
Unbelievable.
you know what? I was playing golf with someone that is a Mo VIP.
You've always wanted to be able to say that. That's the most business thing you've ever said. That's the most
Well,
business
that's
thing.
wild.
Hold on. We have to pause the show. He's never said something that businessy. No, most of the time he's like, oh, I'm trying to do some scam, or I moved my potted plant. But this time you said, you know, I was playing golf with a Mo VIP just the other day. We were on the links.
Does it count if your group, it's a scramble? So my group only used one of my shots. The entire 18
Yes, it
holes.
counts.
We
counts. That's
used
the Rudy.
one.
That's called the Rudy.
And it was mainly because the other guys were drunk and they started hitting it into the bushes.
All good games of golf.
Yeah. You're good. You're fine.
So anyway, thanks, Mo, for always sponsoring
Yeah.
our events.
Of
Appreciate
course.
you helping us out.
Now, my BDM membership did expire. Credit card got declined. Can I still come to the event?
You know what? I'll let
you
you in.
can, Mo.
All right.
I'll let you in.
But
Got the
only
lovely
you, though.
email.
But any of you others, nope, not
Yeah.
doing it.
But the person I was playing golf with was telling me, like, man, this is a good deal being involved with Mo's VIP program because I'm constantly getting free dinners and lunches
I see it.
and events.
And there are good places too. Why don't you cheap out? Why don't you take everybody to
McDonald's?
Golden Corral.
Yeah, and no offense, but just why don't you take them to hot dog heaven? Get them but he's taking them to a steakhouse. He's taking them to get a full spread.
There was that one time that Bustecker cooked a bunch of gray hot dogs in a field.
The old bus
He didn't cook
doggers.
those. I thought he picked them up from somebody, right? He got this from a man.
He had
He
so
got this
many
from a
left
supplier.
over.
You still have hot dogs left over, don't you?
They're in the van.
They're the hot dog man.
So,
I love it.
before we started the show, we had Jive Turkey in the chat room, and that reminded me.
Which is hold on, that's a man's name. He's a streamer.
Yeah.
I'm sick of you streamers and your stupid names. Mr. Beast, you started it. We call it Mr. Beast, Jive Turkey, PewDiePie. I hate all of you. Just what's your real name? You're Hank.
Oh, it's just like radio. It's just like radio.
God, it's worse than radio. Mr. Beast? That's worse than Big Frog in the morning.
It's close though.
It's very similar.
And Jive Turkey plays these submarine video games, and that reminded me of the
World of Warships,
the submarine, I guess, catastrophe that happened, like the Taurus submarine disaster, like a couple weeks ago, where some people died. It was super sad, but I remember being in one of these Taurus submarines in the Cayman Islands with my mom and dad back in the late 80s or whatever.
6 people were killed. It was an Egyptian
submarine.
Yeah, an Egyptian submarine.
So it reminded me, and I may have asked you this already, Mo, but when you're on vacation and you go on these excursions, and you're obviously subject to local law,
Right.
Is there a lot of recourse in other countries like Egypt? It seems not.
Probably not.
It seems like their court system is backed up, or just so antiquated in some way or whatever. You're screwed if you get hurt.
Yeah, you can be. I mean, it depends where you are, who you booked it through. Are they an American company? Do they have any ties to an American company? Was it an American booking agency? But otherwise, if you're on some small island somewhere and something happens, you're probably out of luck unless you can sue under their local laws, which is just going to depend on where you are.
And do you have to use a local attorney? And
depends. Again, if you have to sue there, if that's the only place you can sue, then yes. Sometimes you can sue in federal court here under what we call diversity jurisdiction, meaning there's 2 people from 2 different areas, but it meets certain requirements where you can bring the lawsuit in the United States because they have enough ties to the United States. But then even if you get a judgment here, Again, depending on the situation, then you may have to go execute that judgment in that country against their assets, which can be a whole nother process. So it can be very difficult.
Gotcha. So usually no recourse if you get hurt or injured on a tourist
I love the old
excursion.
Tom Van summary. So usually no recourse.
Yeah. So what you're saying is better call Jafar.
Or you're just screwed if
Yeah.
you get hurt or have any bodily injury on
What do you do?
in one of these things. Is there any country that has similar like I guess tort laws as the United States?
I mean, I would guess England probably does, just because of how our legal system developed. So that's probably the closest, if I had to guess. But obviously, I haven't studied foreign law, other countries' laws extensively when it comes to tort law.
I can't take him seriously with the powder.
With the wigs?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
I'm like,
Glad
why
you
it's
said it.
2025.
But you don't like,
Wearing a wig?
what if they changed it and what if they wore those motorcycle helmets with the mohawk? I hate
basically
those,
the same
I
thing.
hate those too, but it would be moving us into like the early 2000s,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I feel like if all of your British members of parliament wore a mohawk helmet, that would be really, really good. Do you want me to do this question from a listener?
Yeah, we got one serious question, Mo.
boy.
Then I got one question for you personally.
Yeah, of
and-
course you do.
And then I got a what's up with that.
I love that. I love
What's up with
Yeah,
that?
that's called the Keenan. Hey, Dan, question for Moe Dewitt, or maybe he could refer someone. I have my medical card, but I also work for Orange County Public Schools. Technically, I am retired, but I am in the DROP program, which extends the time you can work and saves my pension money. My question is, if I would have to take a P test, I would obviously fail and I would be fired. In some circumstances, OCPS, depending on the infraction, they can take away your pension. But in my case, I am already retired and getting my pension. I'm looking for an attorney I can get for a consultation to see if I can retroactively take my pension away, or if they can retroactively take my pension away if I fail a test. I know I would be let go, but I'm not worried about that as long as I keep my pension. If they can, then I'll stop until I leave OCPS. But if they can't, I'll roll the dice on letting it go. I'll be 64 in November, so I only have a few more years to work. Thanks for any help or guidance. Still love and listen to the show every day. Take care. Name redacted.
You got a couple more months. Just quit
No,
smoking
I like
weed.
this guy. He's dangerous. He's dangerous, and he likes his marijuana.
You risk
No.
your whole pension
I
in
like
a couple
that.
months.
Risk your pension. That doesn't sound like the Tom Van I know. I thought you were a risk taker.
Also, quit looking at the internet. Worst case scenario.
Yeah. I mean, if you want somebody to talk to, you probably want to talk to your union rep and get them to set you up with one of their union attorneys who can probably give you the answer to that, much easier from having dealt with it over the years. And, each organization like that's going to be different as far as what the criteria is that allows you to revoke somebody's pension. Typically, it's got to be something fairly serious. Here, since he's already receiving his pension, it may be harder for them to revoke it, but that's something you're going to want to talk to that attorney about.
Now, if you go and you do talk to your attorney, I mean, because that's scary for a lot of people, right? When they can go and talk to an attorney about something that they're doing that could be perceived as wrong. I mean, can you touch on that a little bit? It's okay to, you have a relationship with your
It's
counsel.
attorney-client privilege, so everything that you would discuss with them is privilege. Now, they can never help you commit future crimes, but this has already happened, obviously. He has his medical card, he's smoking. His question is whether they can, get rid of his pension going forward. So that's all protected. He couldn't go to him, though, and say, hey, I want to, figure out how to, commit crime X, Y, or Z. In that case, attorneys aren't allowed to help people commit crimes, if that makes sense.
Can I ask you the question and then you answer it, and then I'm like, that's all I needed for my crime? Can we do it like that? Can we do it like that?
I don't know.
Not you and I.
Yes.
Not you and I. Because you're straight. You're straight. Yeah, you are straight. You're not gay. But I mean,
What are you trying to say, Danny?
Straight down the lane. You know what I mean.
Help
me, Tom.
Speaking of straight down the lane, they just called Mo bowling.
Exactly. It's on the brain. Straight down the lane, on the brain.
There's a lot of gray area when it comes to medical marijuana that people they want cut and dry, and you're like, well, guess what? Some things are not cut and dry.
Not at all.
It's like the gun and the marijuana. Like everybody's like, I want to
Right.
have my gun and my marijuana both actively legally, and I'm like, I don't know if it works like that.
Yeah, well, but then it's like, just don't tell anybody, and then everything will be fine. Because no one's researching nothing. But then it's like, well, what if I get cut? Then you go down these
The what ifs.
hypotheticals,
Yeah.
and then you're
It's
like,
no different than me and WebMD.
well, that's what case law is for, and it's so new. There's no case law for
Right.
it, and isn't that what that's for? Right?
Yeah, I mean, law. I always say law is always behind technology because that's usually what happens. But in this case, it's the same sort of thing. A new law is passed, and we won't have case law on that for 3 or 4 years because those cases have to work their way through the court. So they have to go through, the circuit court level, and then typically they have to be appealed, and that's where you get case laws from the appellate level. So, that on the fast track that probably takes 4 years. So until you get that actual case law, and then you have the situation of you can have different there's different appellate circuits throughout Florida. We have 6 appellate circuits, so you can have different appellate circuits with different opinions. They have conflicting opinions. Well, if you get that, then it has to go to the Florida Supreme Court. So it could be a decade before you get an actual answer. So you kind of have to operate in this limbo area.
I love how slow the law is.
Yeah, you
do. Because that helps,
those of us that like to commit crime. Yeah.
Well, especially
slow law. Hey, wait. I watched pot. No, that's not how it goes.
I like it when giant companies use the fact that law is super slow, and then they're like, all right, we're just going to go ahead and do this, and then change all of society. That way, by the time the law gets to it, there's nothing that can be done because everybody does it this way now.
We call that, you know what that's called? That's called tube sites. We've released all the porno into the internet. Every single piece of porno is in the internet. Nothing can be done. Can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
It's also MP3s. Like, the drummer from Metallica was like, no, wait.
He was. And you know what? I'm going to admit something for the first time. Can I admit something for the first time?
Yeah.
He was right. I think he was right. When he was like, this is mine, I own it, and you're stealing it. I've never said this before. Lars was right, and I was stealing it. And do you know I was named in the lawsuit?
No,
I still have the form they sent me to my mom's house.
Maybe for another time, but how'd you get named in the lawsuit?
Well, because I was stealing music using Napster.
You stole a lot of music.
I was stealing music using Napster, and then when it was like Dr. Dre, it was Lars, it was like a bunch of other people, and then they were like, we're sending the lawsuit out to... And I was one of the ones that got the letter. I like how... And I saved the letter, and it meant nothing. It literally meant nothing to me.
I like how other musicians were like, quit being so uptight, Lars. And then now...
now you can't even sell your music.
You're like, wait, they give me 1/100th of a penny for every time you download?
He was right.
That's nothing.
You can't convince me that he was wrong. He's not a good person, and I do not like his drumming, but I believe in this case, I give him the nod.
Give him the credit.
Someone would have to buy my album for $15.99. Now I get 1/100th of a penny.
Well, they don't even have to buy it now.
No, but just got Spotify.
I can borrow it for a couple spins, and you get 3 cents.
All right, Mo. Here's my personal question.
Right.
So I'm gonna give you a scenario. Right? You love scenarios.
He knows how your questions go. He knows how it works.
Although I thought of some gambling question too. But anyway,
we've had to curb that.
You get that ropes course taken down in your front yard?
No, still there. Still there.
Good.
Yeah.
It was whipping around in the wind the other day.
It's kind of beautiful.
And then some lady was pushing.
He's standing there staring at it like American Beauty.
And the swing almost whipped this lady. Then I was like, I wonder if I'm liable for that. Like she was just walking down the sidewalk. Then I was like, well, technically, the swell...
Walk on the other side, lady.
Yeah, but the swell... It's in my property. The sidewalk is on my property, it seems like. It's so
Probably
close.
Is.
That if
I think you got this wrong last time, and then you started calling like the median a different word. And okay, ask your question.
Okay, so I was curious about this because I've been buying a lot of stuff on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh my God, I thought you were out of that.
And
I thought you were done with that. What are you buying?
I was buying palm trees, big, beautiful palm trees.
Big, beautiful.
Not stolen at all.
The palm trees. Some say these palm trees will provide shade. Will they? I don't know. Maybe are they going to do it? I think they're going to do it.
And then it's presented like, hey,
these palm trees are unlike anybody's ever seen.
And they're like, this palm tree's for sale, and it looks like it's in some sort of business. There's a bunch of them. Whatever.
It's a stolen palm tree.
But then I'm like, why is this one individual selling them? It looks like it's the picture looks like it's in some sort of nursery or whatever. So I'm like, I don't know, none of my business. So I'm like, and they're it's like $200 for this palm tree. I'm like, I'll give you $100. And then
wow, you really undercut him. Half price. I tell you, that's when you text them F you, and then you screenshot it and put it on your Facebook.
And then they're like $150.
Look at these low ballers.
And then I'm like, well, that as long as you deliver it to my house next to the hole that I dug. And then the guy's like, deal. I'll be there in 1 hour.
Whoa, he ratcheted it up on you.
Which seems like they needed the money fast,
Yeah,
Mo,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know,
That
which,
sounds like a stolen boogie board
Gotta
to me.
get rid of the stolen goods.
Yeah.
which a little bit of a red flag. But I'm like,
If you
listen,
sell it fast, it's harder to get caught.
And I'm like, well, you put it up on Facebook Marketplace. I negotiated with who knows who. I don't know what.
Meanwhile, the Gaylord Palms is missing all of their palm trees. You know,
And-
like literally, they've all been stolen.
And then like 5 guys show up, all
The
Drunky
burger
the Bear
guy?
fans.
They're like, hey, we got the hamburger.
yeah. When they found out I was Drunky the Bear, they were happy, so happy.
Oh, you're Drunky the Bear? Oh,
They-
we've
they-
been stealing palm trees all day. We love you.
They took pictures, seemed like they were huge fans, had no idea about the podcast or whatever.
No.
Which I was like, how are you such huge fans? I have no idea.
Those people die with the radio. They never moved to podcast.
Yeah, but they were. I mean, they took pictures with me. They were like texting their.
There are a
old
certain
lady.
We
group
thought you
of-
were dead.
There are
Yeah,
a
yeah.
certain group of listeners that when the radio dies, and it will, they die.
Yeah. So then,
They just turn off.
so they were rough around the edges. They delivered the palm
Yeah.
trees. Like
How
they
are their
said.
eyes? Big black pain
Yeah,
pill? They have
everything-
big black pain pill eyes?
And then they drove away fast. Like, whatever.
Yeah, another sucker bought this palm tree.
Yeah. Then I'm like, I gotta get these in the ground. I cut off the pots.
Yeah, because you want to make them look like they've been there a minute.
Yeah. Anyway, and it dawned on me. I was like, what is my due diligence?
Yeah,
Which
what's-
I hate diligence.
What is his responsibility when he
Yeah.
has pain pill addicted ex-monster listeners ride up with stolen palm trees?
Anything, and this is more of a general question. I'm doing a community service for everybody out there because a lot of people buy.
That's how I describe the show, basically.
A lot of people
This is like an
steal
experiment.
palm trees from their ex-listeners.
No, I'm just saying, like, to what the responsibility does the
Too
person
much responsibility. I like how you were going to really get eloquent.
does the person have to make sure the stuff they're buying on Facebook Marketplace isn't stolen?
Well, how do you prove that?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's like to me, it's like, well, I just bought it on Facebook. Well, what do I know? But then someone else would be like, well, they showed up, and then all the signs were
I
there.
mean, they were bloody. They were covered in blood, like they had a
peeled
fight.
out. Yeah, it was way too cheap.
Yeah.
It was like it was way
One of the
underpriced.
I heard one of the gentlemen whisper to another gentleman, "These are stolen palm trees."
I mean, so dealing in stolen goods is illegal, and it's exactly what you said. So if things are underpriced, if they're severely underpriced, if the
This
way
is
you're
way
purchasing
underpriced.
them,
These are $500 all day long.
Yeah,
That's
I mean-
a $500 palm tree.
Well,
all day.
it's hard
They're
to
big
do.
jumbos. They're big jumbo. They're
Yeah,
these
but
are
it's hard to determine the price of palm trees.
Mo, these are giant. I mean, giant hotel. I don't even know how they got into your house. It's a hotel palm tree.
They have Gaylord palm spray loaded with spray paint
It's a
on the outside.
big. You been to the JW? These are big JWs. Huge JWs.
Yeah, but even though they're underpriced, that's called a good deal. That's a good Facebook deal.
Yeah, that's
Mo.
called the
that's
edge.
one element. So they're going to look at the circumstances surrounding the sale.
Okay.
To see if a reasonable person in your shoes would have knowledge that these items were stolen. So
I love that you're buying stolen palm trees. Nothing.
No, I don't know.
Oh my god, I get tears in my eyes. I'm
I don't know if
actively
they're
crying.
stolen. I think
No,
they're
you
not.
know they're stolen. You 100%. You know
No,
they're
I
stolen palm
don't.
trees.
No, I don't. They never said anything. They never said
Here,
in
I can-
text.
I can find out.
If they say it in text, I leave. I
can
run
find
away
out.
from my computer. I start smashing.
I
it.
can find out. It's like
Yeah.
vampires.
Yeah.
Listeners that listen to Tom that knew him as Drunky the Bear, email me and let me know if they're stolen. You'll tell me. They can't tell
They
a
don't
lie.
listen to the show.
No, but
they
they'll
only
say-
listen to Drunky.
They'll say this is on the radio.
yeah. But they
this
don't
is
even
on the
know.
radio. They'll hear me. They'll hear me.
Yeah, I told them, and I was like, I'm still on the radio. And they're like,
Nah, not as good. Not as good, man. Hey, man, is Savannah that crazy, man? Hey, you seen her?
Yeah. I was like, I was just on the show with Savannah. I
No,
did that
she's out in
show, yeah.
California. You don't know what you're doing, man.
So really, it's one of those gray areas, right?
another fantastic Tom Van summary.
As long
It
as they don't
always comes
say it.
back to a gray area.
Now it's my what's up with that. I remember that, and
I'll have a theme song for that next time. I apologize.
there was a time, I think it was the 90s maybe. It was pre-internet that false advertising was a big deal. Like everybody's like, that you can't do that. That's false
No,
advertising.
you can do that now. Like you can sell an amulet that will protect you from 5G. Russell Brand does this. You can sell an amulet for like $300 that will protect you from 5G. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you go to the airport, everybody's on their phone. That's the highest concentration of 5G. And if you go to the airport all the time, you're going to get cancer. So I can sell this
Obviously.
amulet for $300, and I don't have to prove anything, and no one can shut me down. Nothing matters. America. That's going on right now.
Is that the truth?
So with certain items like that, it's all about the disclaimer. So, if false advertising is still a big thing, obviously. I mean, there's some may say are ridiculous false advertising claims. Like there was a lawsuit against Texas Pete's hot sauce because it wasn't made in Texas, and they said that was false advertising. So, I mean, there's all sorts of...
I always thought that was stupid. Texas Pete, it's made in North Carolina. Everybody knows that. That was just his nickname. He lives in North Carolina.
Right.
How stupid are you?
Yeah, he moved to North Carolina after like this Texas Pete.
I
We all
mean,
know
like
Texas
at
Pete.
Hollabox, there's a guy named English Dave.
Right. Doesn't live in England.
Yeah.
Not anymore, at least.
Come on, man. But I do like Texas Pete.
So it's still false advertising lawsuits or court
There's
case
still a
has
thing,
this
yeah.
whole thing?
I think
Okay.
people have gotten better on the disclaimers when you're making, certain representations or implying certain things to say, hey, these claims have not been verified, or things along those lines. Because you still see that stuff like the like the copper infused wraps and things like that. Those were the subject of a number of lawsuits. And again, they just got better with the disclaimers saying, and they weren't allowed to make certain statements that were sort of saying, hey, you wear this, it will cure something. They can't say that, but they can say, hey, it may help with discomfort or whatever kind of the tagline is.
I wonder if we were able to snap our fingers and take all the products off the shelves right now that literally do nothing, what we'd be left with. Because there's so much stuff out there that I really look at, and this isn't shade to anybody taking it. Do what makes you happy and makes you comfortable. But like your Alpha Brains and all these things, and your ginkgo biloba and this, that, and the other thing, like if you just snapped your fingers and real science was able to go like, I'll tell you what works and what boom, we walk into the and the grocery store, nothing in there. There's fish, meat, some vegetables, like everything else is gone. It's all BS.
Yeah, all the medicine gone.
Yeah, all of it gone. Pepto, aspirin, it's
nothing.
all crap.
You know what's never worked for me? Benadryl.
Oh, Advil for me.
Yeah. It doesn't do nothing.
No.
The only thing that works is fentanyl. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, I love it.
That works good.
Yeah, it really does work good. You only need a little bit. That's what I like. I like the drugs that you only need a tiny bit.
So, I got a
one more.
personal
What's up with
injury
that?
question for you. So I was running over here in Blue Jacket Park the other day, and I don't mind this at all. In fact, I love it because it's free. I like America, Mo. I don't know if you know this. I like freedom, and I like everybody doing whatever they want.
You are very much like that, yeah.
So I was running and I was minding my business. I look up and two teens. I mean, they were hauling ass on a big ass electric. Like one of them was on a Suron, and one was basically
I told you we have gangs around
on an
here.
electric mountain bike.
Gangs of Baldwin Park.
Well, we have Suron gangs.
And by teen, I mean these kids are like 12, 13, like they were young. But they were hauling ass, and it's fine. I liked it. I'm like, go for it. I like teens riding dirt bikes.
Just asking because it makes me sad. Helmet or no helmet?
No helmet,
Yeah,
nothing.
of course.
And but it's not that.
God,
So
it hurts my face.
Again, I'm not complaining about it.
No.
I like it.
a young
I
town
wish
band.
there was more teens riding dirt bikes, but I know the reality of like these teens are going to, slam into a grandma hard one day, like just because they're looking back, messing around or whatever. They turn around and they're gonna nail someone. But then
We
I
had
started.
a kid golf cart over here.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
couple
yeah.
days ago. He had a car.
So I thought I was like,
Happens.
well, if
16.
you get rammed by this teen riding the Suron going like 40, it's gonna blow this granny's hip out and it's gonna cause some
You
damage.
could kill a person if you hit him on an electric dirt bike.
But then I was like, "What? Who is liable for that?" Because I'm sure Blue Jacket Park, there's some sign that says like no motorized vehicles,
Right.
which keeps them from being liable. But then
you're gonna start that again.
but then the teen.
But you're pro riding no motorized vehicles on
I'm
things
going-
that say no motorized
I'm
vehicles.
going slow.
See, this is
and
the
I'm
problem
a
with your
middle-aged man.
But this is the problem with your ideology is when you start making acceptance for like one wheels, then you have to do it for Suron.
Yep.
You know,
Well, I'm not gonna plow
slippery
into a
slope.
granny.
it is. You got it one for all.
So anyway, who is liable for that?
Well, obviously the kid on the dirt bike who hits the grandma's liable, but then
You can't sue a teen.
Well, from an insurance standpoint, then you have to look at that. That can get a little tricky. So, sometimes, and we've had these cases before, you can get the homeowner's insurance on the line depending on the type of vehicle and where they were. Usually, a teen on a vehicle like that, the car insurance isn't going to cover them. And then the other potential avenue is if the person who was hit has uninsured motorist coverage, they can make an argument that the electric dirt bike was an uninsured motorist that hit them, and they can go through their uninsured motorist coverage to get
Interesting.
coverage.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
So there's a number of ways to try to get coverage, but yeah, obviously when you look at it kind of in that little bubble, usually there's not going to be coverage there, but you have to kind of look outside that realm to see if you can find potential coverage.
Gotcha. So if you have an uninsured motorist,
Yeah.
that can cover you in
Can.
certain situations.
Or, if it was a delivery person, if they were delivering something, then there may be, a corporate policy that may apply because they were in the scope of their employment. So there's all different avenues you can look at. It just depends on the circumstances.
See, that's why you need to call Moe when
Yeah.
you get injured, because I would have thought, I honestly thought you'd be
SOL,
screwed.
yeah.
like,
I was going that direction too, but he was just spitting like, here, we got some avenues for you.
never even thought of uninsured motorists and like your own insurance
Yeah.
covering it.
Yeah, we had a case the other day. It was a golf cart accident, and they were in a golf cart, got hit. Wasn't their fault, and so we're looking at that very thing right now. What coverage applies to it? Because again, obviously the golf cart was not insured, so then you have to look at, hey, is there any coverage that applies here?
Interesting. How else you been, Mo? Everything good?
Terrible.
we got-
Absolutely terrible.
We got the
sorry to hear
All
about
downhill from here.
the celebrity bowling tournament.
Yeah, are you
tournament coming up
excited?
next week.
Who's your favorite celebrity? Do you have a favorite one that you're
Juan Shawson,
okay? Yeah, Juan Schlosson. A sausage.
along with Drunky the Bear.
Yeah, Drunky the
Hopefully
Bear.
he makes an appearance this year.
Yeah, he may be there. I've heard tell. What are you and your team dressing up as?
No, we're not doing that. None of that. We
Well,
we
you're just
go there and
yeah,
bowl.
just bowl in silence.
That's it.
No, we sit
There'll
there.
be no
don't-
talking on this
don't
lane.
Look at me.
There are no themes.
You're
I
gonna
don't
tell
like
you're
themes.
gonna give them at least a couple, 1.5 grave diggers or something.
Yeah. Now listen, everybody who's ever done anything with me
Yeah.
has gotten their value out of the experience.
Guess what I'm dressing up as?
What?
Splinter.
Oh,
Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja
I like it.
Turtles. I've got ears.
Oh,
I've got rat ears. I've got a robe, and I've got a cane, like a whipping cane, like a fighting cane.
don't let Tim.
And I'm
bully
gonna
you.
and I'm gonna paint my nose black like a rat nose.
So are the other Ninja
Yeah, they're
Turtles?
dressing up like Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, how much? Are they going?
They
full?
bought all the stuff. Yeah, they bought it all. I bought my ears and my stick. They bought me a robe, and then they got their shirts. They're wearing like ninja shirts, Ninja Turtle shirts, and you got to dress up. Come on, have some fun. Show your sons that that real heroes do wear capes and dress up. Show your sons that you're not afraid.
Injured on the go. Just call Mo.
You see how uncomfortable he got when I said that?
I did. It was quite
it was
interesting.
weird, right?
It's justcallmo.com.
Still uncomfortable.
Sign up to become a VIP. It's easy and free at justcallmo.com.
You get a nice metal card.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
I have a
hurts if
metal
you chuck
card
it
in
at
my
somebody.
wallet right now.
Huh?
Now when I go through metal detectors because of my hip,
Oh.
I can bring any vape rig I want. I can bring guns through metal detectors now because I have this card. There's nothing they can do to me because I have a free pass for bring. Right? That's right.
Sure.
I have it's a card that allows you to bring metal through the metal detector.
But will they hassle you more because you walk
No.
through and it goes off?
No, all you got to do is say, whoa, what you doing? Oh, what? Stop touching me, young blood.
Will it rip
just-
out of your body in an MRI? Because that's what I think.
It will rip my leg off and start whipping it around.
Next time you get an MRI,
Yeah.
you will be panicked. Then, right?
Oh, rip my leg right out of the socket and just start dragging it around the ceiling.
All right,
Let's get outta here.
Take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome back to a Corporate Time. Let's do some voicemail.
Voicemail messages. If you'd like to leave us one, it's never been easier. You can call 1-844. Wait, is that right? Is it 1-844? Yes.
866.
It's 1-844 Tom and Dan.
Yeah. Well, it's 866 before the 844.
No.
Or then it's 844 before the 866. It's 1-866-844 Tom.
No,
and Dan.
it's 1-844-866.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's 1-844 Tom and Dan.
Okay.
I'm glad I got that one right. You were wrong. And I take great
Hold on, is it? But there's an 866 in there.
There is, but it's 1-844 Tom and Dan. Tom
Okay.
is 866.
Okay, it's 866.
No,
There's
it's
six-
it's 1-844 Tom and Dan. The
Okay.
866 is Tom. 844-866-6326.
Okay, all right.
Are you having a
84.
stroke?
No.
844
Gotcha.
Tom and
Okay,
Dan.
all right.
TOM is 866.
Gotcha,
There
gotcha,
you go.
okay.
There you go. I thought you were having a stroke for a second or freaking out. Okay, there we go. We got it all done. Let me get you a voicemail message, and we can See what people are talking about. And again, if you'd like to leave us one, like Tom said, 1-866 or 1-844-866 6326. Let's try this one right here.
Hey Dan, it's April 1st. Oddly enough, this is not an April Fool's joke. I'm trying to get on the website and can't get it to load through any of my devices or internet provider.
You can barely hear what he's saying, but I got multiple emails and multiple voicemails from people. As of April 1st, our website was not working at 6 a.m.
No, really?
Yeah, thanks a lot, GoDaddy or whatever. Well, they fixed it. Like an hour later at like 7 o'clock, it was all up and running. But I had people reaching out to me. They're like, what are you doing? Oh, April Fools. We did not do anything for April Fools. Nothing. We did nothing.
It's funny. I would have never thought, okay, let's say I listen to a show or a podcast or whatever. I go to their website.
Yeah.
And it's down, right? I would never think to call them and let them know. I'm like, they probably know, or someone's going to tell them that works within the system or whatever. Like, I don't need to call to tell them. They know.
No, they tell me. No, they all tell
Yeah,
me.
but don't you assume that they know? Or do you think, hey, I'm going to call and tell them, and they're going to like listen to this voicemail later and then figure out that their website is broken?
Tracy in the Twitch chat room says, who is at your website at 6 a.m.? Believe it or not, the majority of people that are checking, I see, anytime you can't get into your account and you request a new password, I get a notification that you did that, and there's no way for me to turn it off. So, and this has been, we're coming in for like 17, 18 years of doing this, right? Whatever. 15, 16 years. I can't turn it off. So I see it. The highest concentration of people changing their passwords are either early morning during the week or sometime on a Saturday or Sunday, way early morning Sunday, way early morning Saturday. I'm talking 4 a.m. Saturday. You're up. You're trying to get away from your wife and kids. You're hiding. You're probably drinking a beer in a closet somewhere.
That is the dad's golden hour.
Yes. Let's talk about it.
When you wake up before your whole family on the weekend and it's quiet, you have your coffee.
You're kind of sneaking around, right? You're walking over to the coffee pot. You slowly pour it, quiet.
Yeah.
Put your
You don't want to
sugar.
wake them up to bother you.
Put your creamer in there. You open it. You let the dog out quietly. All you can hear is just his little charm dangling. He goes outside. You shut the door quietly. You shut their door so they can't hear you. You sneak outside. You stand around your plants. You sip your coffee. You start surveying your domain.
Yeah, and then you're listening to podcasts.
I'm actually turning myself on right now, telling you this. This is something I'm triggering myself.
And you start listening to your podcast,
Yes.
and you're like, oh, the Tom and Dan website's not working. I'm going to call them and leave a voicemail.
You know what? I like it. We talked it out. I like it. I'm glad you do it.
That'll fix it. But they
did it when I was on my tramadol when I had my hip replacement. I had scheduled the Jim Colbert BDM show and the OG show to release that day. Well, it didn't go out.
Yeah.
And so they messaged me. They'll let me know. They're like, hey, what happened? What are you doing? Like and they knew I had my hip replacement, but they still let me know. And I got my ass over here and I fixed it. Because I like it when they tell me. I prefer you tell me.
I could excuse that because that may be a mistake. They could be like, Dan forgot.
Oh, he did make a mistake. I 100% made a mistake.
But
yes.
the website,
I put the wrong time on the release, so it wasn't going to come out until Tuesday in the middle of the night.
Yeah. But then when the website's down, that's obviously like
I can't do anything
an
about
error of the website hosting company or
the server.
Server, like something beyond our control.
We can't do anything about that.
In which we at least already know about or cannot fix, even with the voicemail. I'm just questioning why you called.
I like that. In a weird way, I feel like you're defending me, and I like that. I appreciate that.
Why did this gentleman, did he think it was going to help, or did he just want to tell us, like, hey, your website broke? All right.
Sometimes people do like to say that. It's like you pull up to somebody and you're like, hey, your tire's flat.
Yeah, I used to have a joke with that. Like one time, me and the Wizard were driving when we were teens, and there was this like guy with a bunch of metal. Yeah, now I realize that he was a scrapper, but back in the late 90s, he was driving with such a flat tire that it was egregiously flat, like riding on the rim flat.
It's just smushed.
And he was slow in the right lane, and then we pulled up, and the Wizard rolled down his window, and he's like, hey, your tire's flat. And the guy looked at him angry as hell. And I remember, like, we got scared, and he was like, thanks a lot, a-hole. He screamed at us. And then that became a joke forever when you say something obvious to someone that they know what's happening. And it's like telling Jimmy that hey, your hair's gone or whatever. Like, and they scream, thanks a lot, a-hole. All right.
That's fantastic. All right. This is an update from Kenny. You know, we were talking about the George Foreman grill, and then we talked a little bit about other celebrity endorsed products.
Hey there, Tom and Dan. Hey guys, it's Kenny. I know y'all were talking about the George Foreman grill and other celebrity endorsed products, but it reminded me, and this actually exists, there was a Deion Sanders Hot Dog Express, and essentially what it was like a, 18-inch wide mini hot dog roller that you could have on your counter, and it would just roll up hot dogs for you. And it got so hot that you could put a lid on top and steam buns on top of it while you're cooking the hot dogs. They also ended up making a grill attachment for it, but there's a bunch of photos around with Deion, advertising and promoting it. The only video I was able to find was like a really crappy, low resolution, but you can still hear that Deion is the one promoting it and is the one pitching for it. So definitely he saw that George Foreman was making a bunch of money, and he's like, oh, I got to get on that, and totally just said, I don't care what product it is, just give me something to pitch and endorse. And they gave him a hot dog maker. Anyway, thought you guys would enjoy it.
That sounds like Deion, right? He's like, give me any football team, whatever. I'll make it work. I'm just gonna make it. Here, I found it. Here's the video. I'm gonna try and get this so you guys can see this as well. Okay. Oh yeah, I got it up so you guys can see it. Here we go. Here's the.
Are you tired of eating ugly split hot dogs? Are you constantly fighting with the barbecue? Do your hot dogs come out of the microwave looking like this? Yuck! Then stop. Now you can enjoy hot dogs the professional way with the Deion Sanders Hot Dog Express.
Dude, we got to get a Deion Sanders Hot Dog Express for the studio, right? How awesome is this? And the goal for 2025, first goal, we have to buy the Hot Dog Express. We got to find one. Second goal, we get Deion to sign it. and we frame it. We frame.
The rollers turn slowly, giving you perfectly steamed and cooked, juicy hot dogs every time.
Every time.
Just plug it in, set the timer, and you have perfect hot dogs in minutes. Oh, the sausages come out with the taste you always wanted. Breakfast sausages cook in minutes, and the fat just drips away. He's always been a great pitch man. Listen to that voice. Listen to that inflection.
So what's funny about this is Kenny's right. Deion Sanders saw George Foreman, and of course, because
he's like, he's getting all the money.
Yeah. The amount of money he made was absurd, right? And then he's like, well, I could do this. I'll pitch anything.
What did we say? The initial deal was like $80 million, and then it ended up like $250 million or something?
At one point, his royalties in the initial deal was $5 million a month for a long time.
It was like 40%.
And then they bought him out for like $120 million in the 90s, the late 90s. But he made $250 million off this.
What do you think Deion made on this?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Because it was what Deion didn't realize, and what we see now when something just blows up huge. And everybody else is like, well, I could do that. I'll just endorse. I'm as famous as George Foreman.
But it really was about the product. What Deion was so short-sighted on is that the hot dog has always been sort of villainized. It's not a good food. And the product was just some weird right time, right place, a gap in the market that no one else saw. And and Foreman was just lucked out. It was essentially he won the lottery. Yeah, it's like coming out with. Well, wasn't he? I would say he's the first. Yeah, and really only for as far as that big of a deal. Right, it's like being the first podcast. It's like being the first of anything. Like if you come to nobody had seen a clamshell grill. Nobody had activated a lifestyle change in that hey, no, this is healthier cooking and it's convenient. Inside grill, whatever. Yeah. And even if it's not even that good, there was a huge... And the price point. We can't forget the price point. There was a... What was the original price of the... I don't know. It's probably $80 or $60. Maybe cheaper than that, $59.99. I don't know. I think it was under $100, right? Because it was a cheap piece of garbage, and it may have been the early stages of
mass producing these things out of country.
Yeah, it does
Right?
kind of feel like this was the first time that we knew of places that could make these grills, and we're like, okay, you're the Chinese grill making place. You're going to make all the grills. You're going to send them to us. We're going to stamp George's name on them.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the new way that America does business.
We'll make them for $12.
Holy smokes. I would have gotten this so wrong. The original George Foreman grill, originally the George Foreman lean, mean, fat-reducing grilling machine. Got to say the full name. Copywritten. First hit the market in 94 when I graduated from high school, and it was priced at around $29.
Okay,
$29.99.
So they made these things for $6.
It went up for the larger ones. They had two sizes. They eventually, in the very beginning, there was two sizes, small and large. Small was $29.99, and large was $49.99. The original smaller version was the $29.99, inexpensive, compact, and marketed for quick and healthy meals.
This may be the original Chinese garbage. You know, I think that's
But
why
it did work. It did work.
No, it worked, but I just mean
like you gotta because like
cheap.
we've dabbled in Chinese garbage, and some of our Chinese garbage is unusable.
Yeah. But what I'm saying by original Chinese garbage is like they probably mass produce these things for dollars, right? Or like
Probably
$5
to make one.
$6 or
Yeah.
something, like some super cheap, and they just sold an insane quantity, and that's how everybody got so rich off it. But you see these things all the time where a product hits the market and
we nailed it. $7 a unit.
Okay,
They have a number for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, hold on. They go somebody's already done this research. So the little guy, the $29 one, it costs $4 to make one.
Yeah.
And the big guy, I think it was gray. Do you remember when they made a gray one?
Okay,
that
yeah.
one was $7 to make.
And they made it in China, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it was made in
yeah.
China. The only, they break down the estimate. The most expensive part would have been your nonstick and your molding. The heating element is cheap. The electronics are super cheap. And the packaging is the cheapest.
And it was before we had the perception of like, oh, if it's that cheap, it's
This
just
is crap.
Yeah, but it was
No, we thought it was good.
because
we
it's a
didn't know-
grill.
We didn't
and
know
George Foreman's
and we didn't know
promoting
where it came from.
Yeah.
And also the name being the George Foreman lean, mean, fat grilling reducing machine. Like that was a clunky name to get us to. It's distracting you from you buying garbage.
yeah.
It's a distraction. It's a garbage distraction.
And they just pumped this out. Like I said, we talked about like some of the 30% of America owned one.
Yeah.
Because it is technically that's a good ass value, $29. Now in '94,
God, I'd rather buy it for $4. I'll tell you that. You give me that grill for $4.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
I think $29 in '94 is like $80 now.
$30 in '94 wasn't cheap.
That's a dinner. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like now, this
Oh, you
like
can't
$30
get a
is
Jimmy
nothing.
John's gargantuan for $30
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, you go to fast food. If you go to like Taco Bell with your family,
I'm done.
I mean,
Can't do it.
It's
$80.
it's still like 40 something. You're like, what? Just some tacos, some drinks, and whatever. You're like $48.
It gets out of control.
Everything's
just
super
cook.
expensive.
You just got to cook.
Yeah.
Always cook.
And maybe that's the pendulum swinging back, or it's like we're not supposed to buy unlimited cheap garbage and just fill every landfill.
We should villainize the ghost of George Foreman because he's the one that started it, right? If you think about it, all these cheap little pieces of electronics that are floating in our oceans and everything, it's all George Foreman's fault.
Yeah. It's TV is still cheap though. Cheaper, they're still amazingly cheap.
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Are they getting expensive now?
No, I got the green light.
For the Hundo?
I got the green light to upgrade my TV.
What are you going to do with your old one?
I don't know yet.
Because
I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet.
See, that's the problem. That's what's keeping me from upgrading.
I'd probably move it to the 4th floor where we do workouts and stuff because Andrea sometimes we have like a crappier TV up there that she'll screencast like her yoga or whatever on. So we'd probably put it there.
But then what do you do with that one? Is it
that one I'll throw away because it's not good. That one I bought from a neighbor for like maybe $50. It's an older flat panel. and I just bought it because it was in good condition and worked. And I just like, I'll give $50 for it.
But does it bother you if it still works to
Yes.
throw it away?
Dude, you know me.
Yeah.
Look at my office.
Like-
look at how much crap is on my desk. How clean would this studio be if I didn't have a problem with holding on to stuff that's not broken? Do you know how much recording equipment I have in those red bins? I could give every listener of our show their own podcasting studio.
Yeah.
I've got 100 microphones in there. I've got 70 cords in there.
Like, I cannot bring myself to bring a perfectly good TV that works to the landfill.
I'll just put it in my garage.
I guess
Do you know I have
you can
every
put-
PC I've ever owned in my garage? Do you know that?
If you put up free TV on Facebook, someone will take a free TV, right? For sure.
Free TV they'll take.
Yeah.
If for money, they're not really going to take
What
it.
if it's like a small, like 27-inch flat screen, 2006?
Those are coveted. Smaller TVs are more expensive than bigger TVs.
Yeah.
I got into this game when Andrea and I were trying to do her office. The small TVs are extremely expensive.
Just that's the problem with me getting the hundo is that I gotta do something with my 75, and I gotta know what the hell to do with it. I don't know what to do with it.
Give it to a listener.
I don't,
Give it away at the Moe Bowling tournament.
It's worth more in my head, even though it isn't. Then like I can't give it away for free. I can't. It's worth nothing.
Shoot it like it's Bud Light. Pretend you're Kid
I
Rock
can't
and
waste
shoot
it. Anyway, all right. We'll see you tomorrow.